This is the #1 rule that many people on AMUMU just do so wrong. Hey guys, this is BigSpin back with another Wild Rift video for you. In this video, we are going to talk about AMUMU. AMUMU right now is one of the most straightforward, but at the same time, one of the strongest junglers in the whole game. And in this video, I will show you why he is so strong, what you should build on him in order to become that strong, and the one thing that most AMUMU players do wrong that you should definitely respect in order to carry with him. Feel free to leave a thumbs up if you like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It will not only help me out, but it will help you out because you will become a better Wild Rift player. You will profit from my videos, from my guides, from my tips. So don't miss another video and subscribe to this channel. And you can also share this channel to your friends. It would really mean much to me because this channel is growing and growing and growing. But you will help me increase the speed of growing if you just share it with your friends. We will all profit from it. Thank you very much in advance. And I would say, let's jump right into it. First of all, let's talk about AMUMU's abilities. And as I said, this champion is really straightforward. So not only really good for new players to pick up, but also for experienced players who want to jump into the jungle and learn a pretty easy champion. This is the way to go because AMUMU is really strong right now. His passive means that as soon as he attacks a certain champion or a certain object with an auto attack, he deals additional true damage with every single of his magic damage. So as you can see, I attack this dummy and I not only deal this blue damage, but I also deal this like white damage, which means it's true damage. It ignores his resistances, so this is really good later on against tanks because you deal 10% of your magic damage as additional true damage as long as you attack the target. This effect applies for 3 seconds. After that, it's gone. So it's really important to keep auto attacking your opponents because it secures you 10% of your magic damage as true damage, which is really, really huge. Then we got our first ability, and the first ability obviously is his most important one to gank. This is the so-called bandage toss. So you activate it, and as you can see, as soon as you hit a target, if you don't hit a target, nothing happens. But as you hit a target, this can either be a monster or also a champion like this dummy. You pull yourself towards this opponent and stun him for 1 second. So this is obviously a really good option, a really good ability to gank people because you can just do this out of the bush. You can surprise your opponents, jump straight into their face and deal your damage, and also allow your mates to catch up because you stun the opponent for 1 second and make him unable to escape. Really important ability, but still you give this ability 1 point so that you can activate it, but then you don't skill it up till the end because it only changes the cooldown and the damage, which is not really important for this ability. Then for the second one, we got AMUMU creating like I would call it a river or a small sea of tears around him, which causes him to deal damage. And you don't have to do anything for this. You just run around and deal damage just passively, and this damage is related to the opposing max health. So it's percentage damage, which is really good, but also magic damage. So here, magic damage buying AP helps you out to higher the damage of this ability. Really good also for the jungle clear, which is why I would recommend you to always skill this ability at level 1 because it just maximizes your damage output against the first buff cap. Then we got the third ability, and also of course it costs mana per second, so it's recommended to deactivate it if you don't need it because you don't want to run out of mana, especially if you don't have the blue buff at the very start. It's really important to only activate this as soon as you are nearby enemies. You can just activate it, cancel it all the time, so this is a really flexible ability. Then we got the third ability. This is just in this radius you just turn yourself around and just deal damage to all the targets nearby, and you also slow them by 30%. So this is really good to just deal damage to your opponents, slow them, deal damage. It's a pretty high damage output actually. This is also the ability that you want to level up first in my opinion. So this is the way to go, especially since you just passively gain bonus armor, which is also really good. So the more points you invest in this ability, the more armor you get just passively, which is really good against AD junglers. And also, the effect of this ability, the cooldown of this ability, is reduced by 0.5 seconds per attack that you get. So if you are attacked, for example, by these raptors, the ability will just really quickly get off cooldown because there are 5 raptors attacking you. Whereas if you use it against the blue buff, I can show you if I just disable the cooldowns, you are not going to get it back real quick. So as soon as you can see, 0.5 seconds less cooldown as soon as you attack this camp, but as soon as you move on, for example, to the wolves. As you can see, I do this ability and I get it back really quickly because just 3 people are attacking me and I can like use it very fast, very soon. So this is really good in fights. As long as you are nearby some enemies, you can just do it. As soon as you are attacked, your cooldown is reduced. This is a really good ability to deal damage, but that's not really what it's about with AMUMU, because you are going to be tanky anyway, and this is just a cool side effect. So now we got the most important ability which makes AMUMU that strong, and that's the ultimate ability. The ultimate ability just creates a stun field in a huge area. So as soon as you walk up to this and just cast your ultimate, as you can see, these people are stunned for 1.5 seconds. You deal damage to them. This is such a huge ability, and as you can imagine, in team fights, this is a complete game changer. It's pretty much like an Orianna ult, for example. You can just deal so much damage, not only so much damage, but more importantly, stun so many people for 1.5 seconds. And this effect is so huge. 1.5 second stun is just insanely much, and this is really the ability that makes AMUMU such a good team fight and also such a good scaling champion for the late game. So now let's talk a bit about the items, and this has changed a bit towards like a few months ago. So right now on AMUMU, you are buying all these tag items. I personally like to go with Sunfire Aegis first because it really scales well with him. It gives him like a bunch of HP, which is really good on AMUMU. Ability Ace also really good. And then, of course, Emulate, his passive, is also so good for AMUMU. So this is basically a no-brainer that you always want to buy with AMUMU. In my opinion, this is the only first item that really makes sense right now. Then I like to buy Frozen Heart, which is an item which also gives you armor. Really good, because this item doesn't give you armor anymore. Then you got some mana in it because you need it for your abilities, especially for your second. If you don't have blue buff, you might run out of mana at some point, so this is really good item also for you to not run out of mana. And also additional ability haste, so that you can recast your abilities more quicker. This is really good for the ultimate, and of course also for the first ability, so also really good item. And of course, Winter's Caress, also a really good passive that you can make use of in team fights. Then I like to go for Force of Nature. As you can see, max health plus magic resistance. Your first magic resistance item right here is also really good. Move speed and absorb, two really good passives for AMUMU. For the boots, I really enjoy Ninja Tabbies, so the armor boots into Gargoyle Enchantment. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but I'm sorry in advance. So this is, in my opinion, the best enchantment as with boots for AMUMU, because you are so tanky with this build that you can just increase your health by 130%. It gives you immense value. So this is, in my opinion, the best enchant to go. Some people are also like going for this one, for Glorious Enchant. I think it's also fine, but I really enjoyed this enchantment while playing. It's not a must-have, but it's just my preference. Then I like to go for Liandry's as a fourth item, but only if you are kind of ahead and if you are kind of fed already, because this item really synergizes well with your Sunfire Aegis, and also of course with the second ability and with the third ability. This item is really good on AMUMU. It was for a long time the first item that you would buy, but now that tank items are so strong, this one is still an option to buy, but not really like a must buy, in my opinion, because you are so tanky that you don't really need to deal some damage. If you still want to have some fun and want to deal damage, you buy Liandry's as fourth item, and for the fifth item, you just buy whatever you need. You either buy Randuin's, you can also buy like a Thorn Mail, you could also buy Abyssal Mask, or even like Spirit Visage. These are all kind of good items. I really like to go for Randuin's in most cases, because we don't have that much armor in this build. So if the opponent's carry is really fat, you can just go for Frozen Heart plus Randuin's, which gives you a cool mix of armor and health. Let's now take a quick look at the runes, and there for the keystone you got Aftershock. Aftershock is really good for AMUMU because his first ability as well as his ultimate ability trigger the effect, give you some additional resistance, which is really good since you are a tank champion anyway, so you can make use of even more resistances, become even more tankier. And also the magic damage is pretty good for AMUMU because he is a mage tank, so this combination is really good for AMUMU in my opinion. Then you go for Brutal, or some people also go for Weakness, which I also really enjoy. It basically deals something similar to Aftershock, like from the immobilization thing. You deal more damage to them, they take more damage, which is also really good obviously to take on AMUMU, because you can impair the movement with many of your abilities. Then you got Hunter Titan, which is also really good because you scale with AMUMU, and this is also a scaling ability. So for every unique champion that you take down, you gain additional max health and tenacity, so you aren't affected by crowd control effects that much anymore. This is also really good because AMUMU is a scaling champion, and as soon as you get some kills later in the game, he's just gonna be even stronger by this rune. Then we have Mastermind. Mastermind, a no-brainer in my opinion for any jungler because it makes you deal more damage to epic monsters such as Dragon or Baron. It makes you take them down even faster, which is really good obviously for a jungler, and you also deal more damage to turrets, also a really good addition. And then you gain some extra gold and XP, so this is the best rune set in my opinion for AMUMU. And now we are going to go into a game, and I will explain you why you should play AMUMU the way I do and what is the most important thing that you have to respect when playing this champ. Alright guys, starting off with this high elo gameplay with AMUMU, I want to make sure that you guys understand one thing first. You don't always want to start at the blue buff. You decide where you start with AMUMU according to the position of your Dragon Lane. You always follow your Dragon Lane. Why is this the case? It doesn't really matter for the first 4 camps. If you start for red, you will always have enough mana in my opinion if you manage it well. So you can either start red or blue, you are flexible, but the thing is that Dragon Lane can help you, like on average. In this case it wasn't the case, but on average Dragon Lane, because there are 2 people, will help you way more than a Baron Lane because he's only 1 guy and he has to clear his wave like in time. So this is a really important difference. Most people recommend you to start on blue buff. I say if it's red or if it's blue, you always start at the side of the Dragon Lane because they can leash much better for you and make your early game much more efficient and make you just clear these camps in time, which is so important for AMUMU because AMUMU has one of the weakest early games in the whole game. So you want to try to get to level 5 as fast as possible, and that's why I say, okay, you are going to get help from your Dragon Lane either way. If it's red, if it's blue, you're gonna not really run out of mana. It's fine anyway, so you want to have the leash of this bottom Baron Lane, Dragon Lane. So this is really important. In this case, I mean, it wasn't the optimal start because my Dragon Lane was involved into a fight, so I can't really blame them for not helping me. It's fine, but as you can see, we are quite slow in the jungle here, and this is where we make our first decision, guys. This is where we make our first decision. We clear this camp, and by the time we clear this camp, it's 1.25. And what happens at 1.25? Right, the scuttle spawns. So you want to make sure that you secure at least 1 scuttle with AMUMU. It's not really a shame if you don't manage to do it, but you want to at least try it, especially since we are up against an Evelyn, which is not really that much of an early champion either. So there, it's really good to try to contest the scuttle, to try to do it, and that's what we are going to do. So we skip the red buff first. We don't do it right away. We just want to go for the scuttle first because it just spawned. And now we have some information. So we saw that by this vision plant, we saw that on the map the blue buff was done, or it wasn't there at least. So chances are that Eve started at blue buff. Why is this the case? Because if she did blue buff just a few seconds ago, she would probably have just walked up to the scuttle. So it's most the most probability is that she is just at a red buff and clearing the upper scuttle, which is really good for us because then we don't fight with each other and we just survive our early game. So we just do scuttle, and also here to make sure that Eve doesn't steal us if she is just at the ground for some random reason, we just make sure that we block the scuttle. We just left, right, you know, and just make sure that this scuttle doesn't walk back into the river where Eve could potentially still come out from the blue pit. But now we see her at the Dragon Lane where she just secures 2 kills right away. So this is a really good gank by her. I mean, it was obvious for us because we knew that she had to be around topside scuttle because otherwise she would have shown up at bot side scuttle, but I didn't ping. I could have pinged in this case for Eve, but I think my Dragon Lane would have fought anyway. But it's all good. As you can see, our Fiora is getting the kill. I just ping that she can fight because I know that Eve is not around. Eve was just at Dragon Lane. So now here the second scene. Now this is really important. I see Yasuo is fighting Katarina. Katarina is kind of a Half-Life, as you can see here. So Yasuo is in the upper position in that fight. So what we're going to do here is we are almost level 5. So we are kind of gambling at getting the XP for level 5 for ultimate ability by the minions that are still alive. So what we do here, we engage either way, even though we are not level 5 just yet. So we just smite him, make him now flash, and then we pull us to him with our first ability, and then we just straight away get our ultimate and we can just kill this guy. So this is really important, knowing, okay, we will get our ultimate, we will instantly level it up and instantly cast it to chain our CC. First, we will use our first ability to stun him for 1 second. Then we will use our ultimate that we just got up to stun him even longer, so Katarina can just completely load her damage on him. I don't know if you say it that way, but you know what I mean. Completely deal all damage to him. And that one secures the kill. If Galio didn't come, this would have been perfect. I mean, that way Katarina still died, but it's good because Yasuo died and Katarina died, and we got an assist and Katarina got the kill, so we can make her snowball now. This was already a really good choice by us to gank as soon as we are level 5 without really being level 5, just gambling that minions will make us become level 5. So now we are just going to buy life. I don't buy boots here. Why don't I buy boots? It's really important because I think that many people, like for the first pack, they almost always buy boots. In this case, I decide to go for the life item, go for the health item, go for the stats first, because the dragon is up in 20 seconds and I don't want to die because I don't have that much health, like I didn't buy that health item. And it's not that important for this dragon fight that you got the movement speed. It's more important, in my opinion, that you got the raw stats, so the health that this item provides you. So this, in my opinion, is also important for the Drake fight. You don't really want to go for boots if you haven't back yet, because you can like just also go back after the Drake and then secure it with, or then buy boots and then have that move speed. And now, yeah, now we are just going to walk around the Drake. It's a really important Drake. It's the Infernal Drake. So this is a Drake that we definitely want to secure. Here we just clear the ward right away, which works perfectly. And we got our ultimate, so we want to wait. We don't want to engage on this Drake until we see Eve. This is really important because Evelynn is a champion that can steal the dragon from any jungler with her ultimate. So you should really take care. I mean, my team is kind of wanting to start it, but I'm also really tempted, but I know that Evelynn is just not a champion that you want to go into a smite duel with, because she is just like playing with unfair cards because she has her ultimate. So now we are going to pull off a really good ultimate here on 2 people, on 2 important people, and as you can see, it works out quite well for us. We get 2 kills here, but also our Katarina dies. We also almost die, and Fiora sadly also dies. So this was a 2-for-2 trade, and now we instantly port back. Why do we port back? Because we got our Sunfire Aegis first item, which gives us a really huge power spike already, and we can just move for the Drake straight away. So now this was really important to make a decision here, because we knew that we were low on life, so it wasn't really the way to go to stay there. It didn't make any sense. The fight wouldn't have been able to be re-engaged for us because I didn't have ultimate. I don't really do too much without ultimate, so here I just try to deal some damage to Yasuo. As you can see, I instantly back off because I realized that there are more people around from them than from us. And also we noticed that Fiora is pushing right now on the Baron lane. So this is also really important, and I pinged the Drake because I noticed that, yeah, people are like probably they are just doing the Drake. Why is this the case? Because as I noticed, Akali was still here when I was in the river bush, when I attacked Yasuo. Akali was still around, and now that Fiora is on the Baron lane, it really just makes sense for the opponents to start this Drake, because they know we are 1 champion more. We are 4 versus 5 people, so they must start the Drake. Otherwise, they are going to lose so much on this trade, because Fiora can just push this Baron tower, can get tower first potentially. So it was quite obvious that they would do Dragon here, even though we didn't have vision. So what we are going to do now, we try to steal it, obviously. We just try to steal it. We try, yeah, to stun her first of all. So now we go in. We go in, guys. We go in, and now we focus the Drake, and as you can see, Eve misses her ultimate. We steal the Drake with our smite, get a kill on Galio. We are 2-0-4 right now, so this is a perfect start in the early game for us. And as I said, you really want to play the early game safe. This is the #1 rule that many people on AMUMU just do so wrong. They don't play safe in the early game. They don't play safe until level 5. But as soon as you are level 5, you are just so valuable for your team with your ultimate up. Before level 5, please don't fight. Do me the favor, don't fight. Don't try to get into any confrontation with any jungler, because especially people like Lee Sin and Vi are just gonna mess you up. They're gonna kill you, and then they are gonna snowball on you if they are good enough. So this is what you want to avoid. Avoid any fight with any jungler that is not like a second AMUMU in your opponent's team, as I would say. Avoid any fight with any jungler until level 5, and then you can just make sure that you get as much gold as you can get, and then you can just after level 5 run around, cast your ult, and be such a positive, such a valuable addition for your team. So right now we don't do the Herald here because as you can see, there were many people around also from the opponent, so this wouldn't have been the call because we are still not that strong. So we are a scaling champion. We don't want to give Eve with her ult the ability to snowball. There I ping. I want to get that Akali. As you can see, Fiora engages and she doesn't really make it. As you can see, I'm getting a bit greedy here. I wanted that kill, but Akali is Akali, so she can just jump away, which is fine. I mean, Yasuo is coming here, so I ping, and he is noticing me, so we don't really get caught here. It's quite good for us. And now we see Eve getting a kill on Dragon Lane. Ezreal, though, getting a triple kill. So he just killed all 3, which is really good for us. I mean, perfect for our team if we get 3 kills and only 1 death out of a gang from the opponent. So this not only means that you could have taken Herald anyway, because Eve was on the other side of the map. This also means that Ezreal is really good in the game and Eve can't really snowball. So what I'm pinging here is just going for the mid lane. I just want to make sure that we might chase Akali here. I should have walked away straight to the tower right now. I chased a bit because I was quite a bit pissed about Akali escaping in that first situation after my flash, and I really hate Akali. So Akali is my #1 hate champ. So there were a bit of emotions who impacted me here, but it's all good. I mean, nothing happened. So we can just take that middle turret really soon, and now we obviously just want to go for this kill. As you can see, this should be a sure kill. I just ult to make it sure that it is really the kill. Yeah, it should you can try to ult like this, like I did, but yeah, I just missed here. This was auto aim. That was not so good. This ultimate wasn't that good, honestly, because this ultimate just made us waste it on 1 kill, but we didn't get the full potential out of it. So it is okay on the one side to kill someone isolated by the ultimate. It's okay, but in this case, it probably would have been a bit better if we just let Eve alive and then ulted 2 or even 3 persons. That would have been much more value for our team. Still, the fight was okay. I mean, we died, Janna died, it's okay. Even an even trade would be good for us because, as you can see, Fiora is currently pushing on Baron lane again, and what happens is that Kai'Sa is just going in, and also, as you can see, Galio is chasing a bit too fast, so we just managed to get this kill, and I buy now magic resistance because as you can see, they have Akali, they have Galio, they have Eve. We just don't buy Frozen Heart now, we just buy our Force of Nature because it gives us some magic resistance that we need in order to compete against Eve, compete against Akali, compete against Galio, and of course armor is also really important, but in this game I was like, okay, let's just buy magic resistance secondly, after we bought that health and that passive damage with Sunfire Aegis, just to make sure that these AP assassins don't kill us instantly. So now the Baron is spawned, and also, which is more important, obviously, the Drake has spawned. So now we again want to make sure that we play around the Drake, that we are around, that we can also secure this Drake. As you can see, Ezreal is godlike right now. We are 2-1-8, and this is also our job. Our job as AMUMU with this build is not to get as many kills as possible. It is just to make sure that our carries, which deal the actual damage, that they just get as many kills as possible, and that's what we are going to do. I mean, we 2-1-8. It's not important that we get the most kills. So here it was quite risky again. As I said, Eve could have stolen it, but we were quite fast, so we managed to secure this dragon, which is really good. And as you can see, this game with 2 dragons now, with the Herald still up, is so in our favor. And also here, the ultimate again. So this is what AMUMU is about. You want to stun these people. Now I flash in this situation. I flash in. Why do I flash in? Because we can repeat this. I see these guys porting back. So I know that we definitely can get the kill. So I want to make sure that the kill is they don't port back and we get them. So This is the first kill actually. Katarina gets the Quadra and Fiora steals the Penta. But as you can see, it worked out perfectly, especially with our ultimate. Our ultimate and Katarina's ultimate is such a huge combination because she can just deal that damage and get those resets after each kill. So this is a really, really huge combination. You can also notice in this game, we just stun the opponents all the time. We don't really deal that much damage. It's not important. We just let our Ezreal and our Katarina deal that damage. As you might remember, Katarina gained her first snowball kill from us because we were in the mid lane. We ganked that Yasuo. We managed to pull off our ultimate, and here it's really important to kill the Eve again because she might steal us. So this was the Baron for us, and this game is looking really, really good. As you can see, 2-1-14. We are kind of having stats like a supporter, but we still have much gold in the game. So this game is perfect for us because we can just now with all that gold, we can just pull off ultimate after ultimate in a good team fight, and we will just make Katarina's snowball completely out of this world, and also Ezreal deal his damage. So as you can see in this game, we managed to survive. This was kind of like greedy by me, but it's all good. So in this game, the number one important thing that you have to respect with AMUMU is really just to stay passive in the early game. And as soon as you are level 5, you want to pull off your first ganks, but only then, not before. It's kind of, I mean, there will be games where it makes sense to gank level 3 if you get a free balance and a free kill, but in most cases you are getting, like, if the opponent's jungle is around and you are both level 3, in 99% of the cases, the opponent's jungle will just be stronger than you, and you will just get 2v2. So really important for AMUMU, as you can see in this game, as we have done it. Respect the opponent's jungler, take care as much as you can, and then from level 5 on, you are just going to outscale the opponent's jungler. You are going to get really, really damn tanky, and that's already about this game, guys. We won this. As you can see, we played a really, really huge role in this game. We had really huge impact in this game for both Drakes, obviously, for every single objective, but also for the team fights, for our ultimates, which really secured the first kills for Katarina in particular. So Ezreal also did a really good job. We didn't have really much impact on that, but especially Katarina and me had a really good synergy, and I made a snowball with my ultimates with the first gank and managed to win this game. I hope that you liked this guide. If you have more questions about AMUMU, then put them in the comments. I will go there soon and try to answer some of them. If you have any video recommendations, also put them in the comments. As you can see, this is my 4th video, so this channel is like started a few weeks ago, and you can put your recommendations in the comments. What could I have done better? What are your wishes for the next videos? Put it in the comments and like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, recommend this video to your friends. It would really be a huge favor for me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope we see us in the next video. Stay safe and have a great time.